She said, "I'm not your property. I can talk to whoever I want." After I caught her texting her ex at 2 a.m., I said, "You're absolutely right." Then I made sure she had all the freedom she wanted by doing something that changed everything. She realized she was wrong when she woke up to find her stuff packed and an eviction notice. Hey viewers, we just passed 10,000 subscribers. Huge thanks to everyone who supported the channel. But still, only 16.4% of you are subscribed. So if you're enjoying the content, hit that sub button and help us keep growing. This happened 3 weeks ago, and I'm still amazed at how fast things can change when you stop being a doormat. Been dating my girlfriend Ashley for 3 years. She moved into my apartment 8 months ago when her lease was up. We split utilities and groceries, but the lease and everything else is in my name only since my credit was better. Ashley's been acting weird lately. Phone always face down, staying up late claiming she was watching videos. The usual suspicious stuff. Last week I got up to use the bathroom around 2 a.m. and saw her texting someone with this huge smile on her face. Asked her who she was talking to that late. She immediately got defensive and said it was none of my business. Flipped her phone over and told me to go back to sleep. Few nights later, same thing happens. I see her screen light up at like 1:30 a.m. and she's typing away. This time I asked more directly who was keeping her up so late. That's when she said it. "I'm not your property. I can talk to whoever I want." "You're absolutely right," I told her. She seemed surprised I didn't push back or start an argument. Just rolled over and went back to sleep. But my brain was wide awake thinking about what she'd just said. Next morning, Ashley was in the shower when her phone buzzed on the nightstand. Screen lit up with a text from Brandon, saying, "Good morning, beautiful, can't wait to see you today." Brandon, her ex from college who she claimed to hate, the guy she said treated her terribly and she never wanted to see again. Apparently things had changed. I didn't say anything to Ashley about the text. Just started paying closer attention to her patterns and thinking about my options. Over the next few days, I noticed Ashley was going out more often. Random errands that took hours, meeting up with friends I'd never heard of, coming home with stories that didn't quite add up. Meanwhile, the late-night texting continued, always with that same secretive smile, always defensive when I was anywhere near her phone. Tuesday night, Ashley announced she was going out with her friend Maria on Wednesday evening. Said they were doing some girl time and she'd probably be back late. Wednesday morning, I called in sick to work and told Ashley I wasn't feeling well. She seemed concerned and offered to stay home. "No need," I said. "You should definitely keep your plans with Maria." Ashley left around 6 p.m. dressed up way more than usual for a girls' night. Tight dress, heels, full makeup, said she'd text me when she was heading home. Around 8 p.m., I decided to check her story. Called Maria directly and asked if she'd seen Ashley lately. "Not since last weekend," Maria said. "Why?" So Ashley was definitely lying about her plans. I didn't go looking for her or try to catch her in the act. Just noted that she was lying about where she was and started planning my next moves. Ashley came back around midnight with some elaborate story about how she and Maria had such a great time and lost track of time. How Maria was going through relationship drama and needed to talk. I nodded along like I believed every word. Asked how Maria was doing and if she felt better after their talk. Ashley spun this whole story about Maria's boyfriend troubles and how they'd stayed out late giving her advice and support. "That's nice of you to be there for her," I said. Thursday morning, after Ashley left for work, I called my landlord. Explained that my girlfriend had been staying with me, but we were breaking up and I needed her removed from the apartment. "Is she on the lease?" he asked. "No, just me." "Then you need to give her written notice to vacate, 30 days minimum since she's been there more than a week." He explained the legal process for removing someone who wasn't on the lease but had established residency. Said I needed to follow proper procedures to avoid legal problems. I drafted a formal 30-day notice to vacate. Cited breach of lease terms since only I was authorized to live there and subletting wasn't permitted without written approval. Thursday evening, Ashley was back to her late-night texting routine. Phone face down, secretive smiles, the whole thing. She mentioned she might go out with Maria again soon. "Sounds fun," I told her. You should definitely spend time with your friends. Friday morning, after Ashley left for work, I served the eviction notice by taping it to her bathroom mirror, where she'd definitely see it. Also sent a copy to her via certified mail to cover all legal requirements. The notice gave her 30 days to vacate the premises. Explained that she wasn't an authorized resident and needed to make other living arrangements. Friday evening, Ashley came home and went straight to the bathroom. I heard her rip the notice off the mirror. "What is this? An eviction notice? You said you're not my property and you can talk to whoever you want. You're absolutely right. You're also not my responsibility anymore. You can't just kick me out." "I'm not kicking you out. I'm following the legal process to remove an unauthorized resident from my apartment. You have 30 days to find somewhere else to live." "This is insane. We're dating. Past tense. Hard to maintain a relationship with someone who lies about where they are and who they're with." "I haven't been lying about anything. You told me you were with Maria Wednesday night. I called Maria. She hadn't seen you since last weekend." Ashley's face went white. She started stammering about how plans changed, and she forgot to mention it. "Plans changed to what exactly?" "I ended up going out by myself, just needed some alone time." "Alone time that required lying to me about being with Maria?" Ashley tried explaining how she didn't want me to worry about her being out alone, how she used Maria as cover because she thought I'd be upset. "Ashley, you're texting someone named Brandon at 2 a.m. You're lying about where you are in the evenings. You're dressing up for mystery solo activities. The relationship is over." "Who's Brandon?" "Your ex who you're apparently back in contact with. The one texting you, 'Good morning, beautiful.'" She realized I'd seen her phone and started crying, said Brandon was just a friend who was going through a hard time and needed someone to talk to. "That's fine. You can talk to him as much as you want, just not while living in my apartment." "Where am I supposed to go?" "That's something you have 30 days to figure out." Ashley spent the weekend trying to convince me to reconsider. Said she'd cut contact with Brandon and be completely transparent about her activities. That she realized she'd made mistakes, but wanted to work things out. I told her the eviction notice was final. She'd made her position clear about not being my property, and I agreed completely. She wasn't my property, and she wasn't my responsibility either. Update, 2 weeks later. Ashley's been scrambling to find somewhere to live. Turns out most of her friends aren't in positions to have long-term house guests, and she can't afford a decent apartment on her own. She tried moving back with her parents, but that lasted exactly 3 days. They live 2 hours away, and Ashley couldn't handle the commute to work. Brandon turned out to be useless for housing assistance. Apparently he lives with roommates and couldn't accommodate a girlfriend moving in. So much for their reconnection being meaningful. Ashley found a studio apartment that she can barely afford. Much smaller and more expensive than she was hoping for, but it's what's available on short notice. Her friends started asking questions once they learned about the eviction notice. Ashley tried explaining that I was being unreasonable and controlling, but people wanted more details. I didn't volunteer information, but when directly asked, I explained that Ashley had been lying about her whereabouts and maintaining secret contact with her ex. Most people understood my position once they heard the facts. Ashley's financial situation got complicated fast. Going from splitting costs to covering everything alone was a shock. She'd gotten comfortable with the lifestyle my income helped support. She tried arguing that the eviction was illegal since we were in a relationship. I referred her to my landlord, who explained that relationship status doesn't override lease terms or residency laws. The 30-day period ends next Friday. Ashley's been packing gradually, but still hoping I'll change my mind. Update 2, 1 month later. Ashley moved out on schedule, took her stuff and left her key without any final drama. Think she finally accepted that the decision was permanent. Her new living situation has been an adjustment. The studio apartment is expensive and cramped compared to my place. She's had to cut back on shopping and entertainment to make rent. Brandon disappeared from the picture once Ashley was actually single and available. Turns out he was only interested in the excitement of secret texting with someone else's girlfriend. When she became available, he lost interest completely. Ashley tried reaching out a few times, asking if enough time had passed for us to reconsider. Said she realized she'd made a huge mistake and learned her lesson about honesty. I reminded her that she'd told me she wasn't my property and could talk to whoever she wanted. She was absolutely right about that. The difference was now she got to exercise that freedom in her own apartment. Her social circle noticed the change in her circumstances. Going from shared expenses in a nice place to struggling with rent in a studio apartment was obvious to everyone. Several mutual friends asked what happened. I kept it simple. Ashley wanted the freedom to maintain relationships with other people while we were together. I gave her that freedom by ending our relationship so she could pursue whatever she wanted. Final update. 6 weeks later. Ashley's been learning that independence comes with costs. Her new apartment takes most of her paycheck, leaving little for the lifestyle she was used to. She posted on social media about learning to be strong and independent. The comments from people who know the real story weren't particularly supportive. Brandon moved on to someone else entirely. Some girl from his social circle who doesn't have relationship complications. Ashley learned that guys who pursue taken women aren't looking for serious relationships. My life has been significantly better. No more wondering who she's texting at 2 a.m. No more suspicious stories about where she's been. No more walking on eggshells around someone who claimed basic questions were controlling behavior. Started seeing someone new who understands that relationships require honesty and communication. No secret texting, no mysterious errands, no elaborate lies about evening plans. Ashley's friends have been supportive but realistic about her situation. Most of them understood why I ended things once they knew she'd been lying and maintaining secret contact with her ex. She asked through mutual friends if there was any chance of reconciliation. I told them Ashley could talk to whoever she wanted and live wherever she wanted. She just couldn't do both while being my girlfriend and living in my apartment. Ashley learned that wanting freedom and independence sounds great until you actually have to pay for it yourself. She wanted the excitement of secret relationships while keeping the stability of our partnership. She got exactly what she said she wanted. Complete freedom to talk to whoever she wanted, whenever she wanted. She just didn't expect that freedom to come without my financial and emotional support. The apartment has been peaceful and my finances are healthier without supporting someone who is using my stability while exploring other options. Sometimes the best response to "you don't own me" is simply agreeing and proving it by walking away. Ashley thought she could have everything without commitment or consequences. She found out that choices have costs and freedom isn't free.